Hi everyone. I wanted to talk about Lillie today. Lillie is an ileostomy that I had put in place during my stage 3 rectal cancer. At the time when it was discussed that I was going to have one, we were not sure if it was going to be a permanent or temporary placement. The reason that I had an ileostomy put in is the size tumor that I had, um, being in the lower part of my rectum. They had to take quite a bit, and so they had to resect the two back together, my rectum and my colon. And so you don't want anything to pass through while it's trying to heal. So they put in a temporary ileostomy. So anybody that has ever had to have surgery understands that there's always that prep day, that you have either a day or two before the actual surgery. Well, it was pretty intense moment for me because at that time we also had to get me fitted for a ileostomy in position. I would recommend this. So when they did the placement, they have two options that they can either kind of at your waistline, it can either be above or below. You have to keep in consideration on your pants and so mine was just a little bit above it. And you also want to keep in thought of the bag. There's a bag that actually hangs off of your ileostomy, so you want to have room for that as well. Me personally, being a female, I was able to wear a lot of dresses. That helped because not having anything around my waist, sometimes the clip that was on the bottom of my ileostomy bag, it would get caught on stuff. It was very frustrating. So um, I ended up having a go-to of a lot of dresses. But as sick as I was too, I spent a lot of time in my pajamas, so that wasn't a big thing. And then when I was at home, I didn't care. That bag hung out. I didn't have to hide it from anybody or gross anybody out. My family completely understood. So it hung out. So I'm not gonna lie. Um, it was pretty intense emotionally about mm, the first couple of months of having it. The most intense, though, was, of course, when you wake up after surgery and you now have this foreign object on your body, and you're not used to it, and it's awkward, and it's a whole new thing to take care of. And luckily, I had some really good people, some good help at the hospital. But having woke up and it's on there was just different feeling. And if you do have to have one, um, they will send you home with well, they won't, they're not going to necessarily send you home with one, but you will get a nurse to attend to you probably the first couple of weeks that you go home to make sure you understand how to take care of your Lillie, your stoma, your new attachment, and understand how to keep it clean, how to change the bags out, how to get your supplies, what kind of supplies you need, what works, doesn't work, that kind of thing. So, what products and tips can I recommend? I used Hollister. Hollister was a great product. And tips, I would say when you get in the shower, my biggest fear was, is it going to hurt? And it did not hurt. They do say to not face your water, let the water kind of drip down the front of you. And I faced the opposite direction a lot, just because it is uncomfortable if the water gets put directly on it. And the other thing I would recommend, I'll go over a couple more tips in just a little bit. First, I want to talk about emotions. You're going to get all the feels with this. My first reaction was sad and depressed, because of this new thing I had to take care of. I was already feeling like crap because I'd gone through surgeries, I'd gone through radiation and chemo and all that stuff, and I was getting ready to start more chemotherapy. I don't know if I had my port in yet. No, I did not. my port wasn't put in yet. Um, but I had a lot of anger by the second week because I was frustrated. It was bleeding. It was hurtful. I was frustrated. I didn't feel like I knew what I was doing because I was bleeding and because it was painful at first. But then I learned how to take care of it. And then I learned what worked and didn't work, what was going to react to my body. So, um, I was very, very intimidated going out in public. I felt like, oh, everybody's going to see it. Everybody knows I have one underneath my clothes. And that was purely in my head. So I think sometimes we are our own worst enemy. Um, but after a couple months with it, I get to a point that I'm like, I don't care if it's sitting out. Ask questions. I don't care. I'm alive, and that's all that mattered. Um, anyways, it you learn going out in public with it. You learn how to dress to either cover it up, or like I said, you learn that you sometimes just don't care. So this might be a little quirky, but I have always been really weird about going to the bathroom in public locations. Well, after Lillie showed me there is life in the public bathroom. So I had no choice. You have to empty it. The biggest thing was interesting to me is how the pouch filled up with air. So you can't pass gas out of your behind. So where does the gas go? It goes inside your bag. And let me tell you, when you have to release air, because you will, you have to release air. It's so gnarly. Oh my God. um, so that's difficult. I don't know if you saw my video. I think it was my first video. I talked about a little bag that was given to me when I first started chemotherapy. Well, I actually turned that into my Lillie bag. So I always had this little, it was like a little lunchbox, a little insulated bag, but I always had certain tools in there with me. And, just like a baby, you have a diaper bag. Well, I had a Lillie bag, and it had all my supplies in it. It had wipes to clean the inside of my bag. It had all of my Hollister products, anything to do with Lillie's pouch, and any type of even little scissors or an extra bag in case I had a mess, any type of attachments. I think I had baby powder, just all kinds of stuff that I needed in case I needed to change the bag. But you do have to empty your bag, just like going to the bathroom, except it's not coming out that end, it's going to come out your bag and you have to clean it. So I always had rubber gloves and wipes to help me out. So that helped me get out of my public bathroom phobia real fast. When you're kind of forced into it, yeah. So the biggest joke with my family always was, and sorry if this is TMI, but I think we're past that now, is, people are like, oh, I'm going to get stuck on this travel, or I'm going to get stuck on this boat and I need to use the restroom, or I'm going out for a walk or whatever. Nope. I can be sitting here right now going to the bathroom. That was the perks of it. You never had to find a restroom. You could just go right there. And let me tell you, an ileostomy, I don't know much about colonoscopy, or not colonoscopies, colostomy bags, but with an ileostomy, that thing was constantly emptying out, and it's liquid form. So, yeah. Now, the one thing for me was leakage when I slept at night. That was super frustrating. Um, Obviously, you can't lay on your stomach, and I was a stomach sleeper, which was frustrating. Um, and some of you that are following me know that I have a little one. When I started everything, he was only 5 months old. So by the time I got Lillie, he was probably about 8 months old. And so I still had my pregnancy pillow, which was amazing. It allowed me to kind of sleep. I was on my back, but I was on a little bit of an angle so that the stoma wouldn't leak at all. So, how long did I have Lillie? I had her from January to September in the same year of 2017. And she, what, we weren't sure if she was going to be a permanent fixture on me or a temporary until the actual surgery was performed. Because the tumor was so low, we didn't know if the sphincter muscles were going to be damaged at all during the resection. So, I ended up, though, I lucked out. So in September, I ended up having the reversal, and everything, we'll say, worked out. I still have side effects to this day for it, but it's not a fixture on my body anymore. And they had me keep Lillie intact the whole treatment plan because we wanted to make sure. So, um, after having the radiation and the Xylota, and then having the surgery and having Lillie put in place, and then I had my port put in, and then I had 6 months of full fox, and we wanted to make sure after the scans were put into place that everything was a clear. So after the scan was good, then we knew we could proceed with the surgery. So I want to show you, and I want to go ahead and let you know, do not watch any more of this video if you get queasy on your stomach for any type of surgical pictures. I am getting ready to show you, I call it my Frankenstein. It is a post-op surgery photo of when Lillie was reversed. So just giving you a warning, stop the video and don't watch. But so this was called a loose stitch, and the reason why they did that is to help with any type of infection because you are dealing with bowels. So and in those small little opening holes, I had the pleasure of getting a Q-tip and cleaning in those areas. Fun, fun. All right, so don't say I didn't warn you. So now here we are in 2022, and I still have side effects of going to the restroom a lot. I still have side effects in my belly, in the fact that I get, sometimes I get nerve pains because of all the tissue that they have to go through when they removed everything. I, of course, have a nice little scar that I will show you here in a minute on what it looks like today. And I had some really tough years afterwards. Being in my younger 40s and having to deal with incontinence for the first couple of years was very difficult on my self-esteem. My body had to relearn, my rectum had to relearn how to be a colon and excrete excess water out and, make the stool that we all know. Well, there's only a little bit of section of me now that has that opportunity. So my body has had to learn how to adjust. I still have some bad days. I still take Imodium almost every day. And these are a few side effects that I'm willing to have because it's bittersweet, but I don't regret giving Lillie back. I know there's some people watching that do have them, and I applaud you because it's tough. It's tough to have one and try your best to live a normal life, or at least a life that you used to have. So I want to show you a photo of what my scar looks like now. And then I want to show you a photo of how the placement is on my stomach. And as you can tell, I no longer have a belly button because I can't get people out of my belly button. All these surgeries and cameras and probes and because I end up having a hernia on top of everything. So that's a whole nother story. Um, so yeah, that's why this picture and placement is why it looks the way that it does. But I'm a cancer warrior. Please, please, if you have any questions that you want to ask me and you don't want to put it in the public comment section, send me a private message. If you want to comment about my video, please post a comment. Let's get people talking about it. Let's not be intimidated by talking about a very particular subject. Um, but anyways, like I always say, you can be cancer free, but never free from cancer. Please like and share my page. I am on Facebook and also YouTube. So please subscribe and let's get the word out.